You didn't get on the swing.
I know. I would like to. Can we got to shoot next time on the swing.
I'm always on the swing.
Same.
If you want to hurt yourself, be my guest. You can get on the swing.
Only one person's falling off.
Who fell?
It was you.
No, it wasn't me.
No.
No, it was Zach.
No, it wasn't me. It was someone we had on. I don't want to call him out.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't call out a guest, but yeah.
I won't call him out by name. They don't.
Nah.
But-
Listen, if you're watching this, okay, before we started the pod, Zach got really upset because Dakota went to a movie yesterday and enjoyed himself. And when Dakota told Zach about the happy people in the movie, you got so animated. I'm low-key scared to go to a movie. Yeah, very.
So look, it's like a graduation. What do they tell you at a graduation? Hold your applause to the end. It's the same thing applies to a movie. Don't make me miss parts of the movie because you can't control yourself.
Yeah, but black people, my people, we ain't gonna be quiet. If my son's graduating, they say quiet. Amir, let's go. But
yeah, you're gonna get your little individual pops. Of course, as you should for your kids graduating shit. But your kids ain't graduating at the movie theater.
But you were mad about Minecraft.
I could give a fuck what movie it is. I don't care what movie it is. I'm telling you, if I'm paying $150 to go watch this movie,
you are not paying that much for a movie. Well, nowadays you might.
Exactly.
We're going to be paying that much for movies
before you know it. And if you can pay that much money for a movie, I want to watch the movie. Don't ask me questions during the movie because I don't know either. I'm here just like you. Don't stand up and block my view.
Well,
don't make me miss parts of the movie. Like, just respect everybody around you. It's a respect thing.
He wants the full experience.
That's all. Just reach in and give him a hug because I'm feeling it. Well, wait a minute.
What makes me wrong about that? Because I'm paying money to go just like everybody else. We all paying money. Let's enjoy the shit.
He's trying to have a good time.
And then at the end of it, if we got to stand and throw our popcorn and throw our drinks and let's go. Let's get after it.
What movie's making you yell and scream and be happy, Chase? Because we see Zach doesn't like noise in
Well, I agree with him.
I feel you.
Thank you.
I feel you.
Please hold your applause to the end.
But what's the movie that's going to make you cheer like Dakota was witnessing the cheers at Minecraft?
I think we said that it's gonna be Michael Jackson.
Easily.
Too. I'm gonna stand up.
Not
and
going to see that
applaud
together.
We did listen.
I'll wait for it to come out on Netflix.
So
I bet you will.
I'll wait. Shit only takes 2 months to come out on Netflix anymore anyways.
Michael Jackson, though?
Yes. But when I went to see Barbie, which I think was more for me and the adults than it was the teenagers, we did applaud and we were a little loud during then. But it was a bunch of women, though, so...
I would have sat in that movie theater.
Oh, you would have quieted that, huh?
I would have sat in that theater, yeah.
Again, I bet you...
Moving on.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. But
it's Sunday. We having fun. Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day. We have Miss Chase in the house. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, John.
Of course. How have things been going for you?
Good. We're super busy. We are actively in licensing, and I need a clone at this point because I need to be in 5 places at once, and it's a lot.
Listen, when you told me you had an assistant, I was like, oh, she's grinding. You working hard.
Yeah. I'm trying though. So as soon as I can do more delegating, which I do have a team, but as soon as I can do more delegating, then I can be a little bit more relaxed. But for right now, I probably won't sleep for the next 3 years.
3 years. How important is that, having a team in the work that you've been doing?
I'm realizing it's very important, especially when, so usually people want to schedule meetings, Monday at 9:00, and I find that 5 people want to schedule for Monday at 9:00. So I need more than one person to go at the same time.
Right.
Or for events, like we are getting invited to events to do pop-up and booths and stuff like that. A lot of these events are happening at the same time. If you guys are watching, we need a community calendar.
Yeah.
Community calendar.
100%.
So
I'm always looking at my calendar, so I understand where you're coming
from. Because for a lot of us that have to be in more than one place, a lot of these events are at the same time. So it's kind of like, you have to pick and choose where you're going to be.
I think it is cool having a team because it's hard to remember all that stuff.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Especially
I live off of Post-its and a calendar.
Oh, you keep Post-its on deck?
Everywhere. In my car. I have them on my dash in my car. I have them on my desk. I have them at home on my refrigerator, on my mirror in my bathroom. Post-its and they're not affirmations either. They're like reminders.
They're work posts.
She got grocery list Post-its in the bathroom on the mirror. Like, gotta get this today.
No, Alexa, remember what I need for groceries.
Are you a
Like
Chat
that
GBT person? Have you been using that?
My God. So that's actually my assistant is ChatGPT.
That's the real.
That's the real executive assistant right there. And it's so bad. I just started, I did the mistake of researching about ChatGPT and all the waste and stuff. And you know that pulls off of our water and
Yes.
our energy and all that stuff. Oh, yep.
I
see your
didn't know.
face.
I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
What he said is I'm using it all day.
I did not know
Yeah.
that either. And I'm like, that's like my second brain. So I'm like, now what do I do?
As soon as I heard that stat, it's funny how like when you hear numbers like that or facts like that, and then you see everybody just using their phone. I'll go to a grocery store and people have like grocery lists and they'll have ChatGPT. I'm like, you got the app telling y'all what groceries to get?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, damn. Like, I like to think for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, but some people do use it for like grammatical purposes, but then you have some people who just use it just for everything. Like people I've seen someone on Facebook say, well, my therapist isn't there. I can just get on ChatGPT. And it's like, you want to say your ChatGPT how you feeling?
Man.
Yeah. And it'll give you the most crazy response ever. Like
That's
it
like
just
looking
reads
up your
life.
symptoms.
No,
Times
you go
worse.
into ChatGPT, you send a picture, you put a picture in there, what your symptoms are, and it'll diagnose it for you. It's kind of scary. And you know,
What?
they say that in the future,
Correctly diagnose it?
they say in the future that AI is going to be replacing like doctors and stuff and lawyers,
Yeah.
which is concerning because you can't actually go into ChatGPT right now and drop a legal question or something, and it's going
Right.
to give you research and everything.
I thought it was mind blowing about the person making a post about the therapy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because when they were saying how, well, when I can't talk to someone, I can just get on this app and it'll tell me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, where have we gone as a society where it's like, don't do the traditional therapy?
Yep.
But I get it. People have their own outlets, but it's like, it's affecting the environment every time you search or ask a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
So I feel like therapy needs to be more personal.
Exactly.
So like that, like I don't know if asking an app is gonna make me feel a whole lot better. Like it might give me what I need to hear, but like you need that like personal connection with your
Absolutely.
therapist, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I was never even a fan of like the over the phone ones. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Telehealth?
yeah, like
the
if I
Zoom-
was
the
gonna
Zoom
if I
therapy?
was gonna do that, like I'd rather just pull up to an office or
Yeah,
that kind of
see
thing.
someone physically.
Like what you said, like it has to be
Yeah, you got to have that personal connection, or else it's not gonna feel like legitimate.
right.
Just
Yeah.
my opinion.
That's the only issue I have with the AI and the technology is like it takes away from the authenticity of
It
like
does.
just doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just, we have a new generation of kids who may not have that experience of talking eye to eye with people and they just go straight to the phone. So we're like the last of the Mohicans
Yeah.
in regards of knowing how to interact with people.
There's
you
a
know
lot
what
of
I'm saying?
kids you can't talk to them. Like they are social. They're
Yeah.
so on their phones or just in front of a screen or whatever. They can't socialize. Too many parents are just like, here's an iPad, go be quiet somewhere else. Like
Well, I'm
they-
sure chasing those. Like you take that iPad away, it's like,
Yeah.
why'd you take it away?
I have 4 kids in the house, from 13 to 3, and we do not have iPads or phones.
Good.
We don't do that. We actually just took away what'd they get for Christmas? Switches, or $500 a piece. Mind you, I have 2 boys.
Yeah.
So that was a quick $1,000. My son dropped it 2 months later and broke the screen.
Kids.
So they have not had them. And now they're just sitting there collecting dust. But I did notice the difference in the behavior though with them. And we don't do violent games either. We
Okay.
don't do any shoot 'em up, kill 'em games or anything like that. We do Minecraft. And then I learned that there's still some type of violence in there too. So it's kind of like,
Got to get them on 2K. Basketball. There ain't no violence there.
Yeah.
They ain't
oh,
cussing
man,
in
they
the
have
games.
that. They have soccer, baseball,
Yeah.
basketball. But they always want to go with the rough ones, of course.
I mean, I
So-
think every young boy at
Yeah.
some point goes through
Yeah.
that phase where like, let's play Grand Theft Auto, let's run over some people and let's move
Yeah.
on with our day. Like,
Yeah. So
but
we're,
it definitely affects some kids more than others.
Oh, for sure.
my
Some
son's
kids
naturally violent, so that's
That doesn't help. Yeah.
No.
so that's why we were like, yeah, we got to cut the game. So now they're outside. We have chickens and land and stuff, so they play in the mud puddles and all that kind of stuff. Because
Nice.
mom's a little crazy.
How are the kids adjusting to mom's profession and what she's doing?
They're pretty used to it actually, because I mean during COVID I was working from home, but I was living at my desk in the house, so they were pretty already used to it. Me being out of the house and in the community more, I try to bring them when I can. But they have their own lives though. So
Yeah.
my oldest daughter, she does cheer, basketball, and track. My oldest son is a national wrestler and also does football.
Good.
My second son, he does soccer, football, and baseball. And then my baby, she's just wherever we take her.
Along for the ride.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you for making time for us today because God,
Yeah. I'm always doing something. And I say I live off of a calendar, like literally I live off of a calendar.
Especially when kids are in sports, it's always a game.
If it's not
always
on the
a
calendar,
match.
it doesn't get done. So my family knows that. If it's not on the calendar, I won't be there because I don't know about it. So
you're learning about like time management and all of that stuff in this new field that you're in, man. Like I learned that we talked about off the record, even like with having Bill on the show. It's like you have to learn to do things certain ways. You know what I'm saying? How to conduct yourself and also time management.
Absolutely. And I come from, so the last 10 years I've worked in insurance, everywhere from as a health insurance agent to operations to project management to claims to Medicare to Medicaid, everywhere in insurance. So I've come from the corporate world, you know, and now I'm doing this nonprofit thing, which is, and for myself, which is completely different sector. So it is a lot of learning as I go. And then not to mention what I'm doing is so new and no one else has done it. We're all like learning together. But the nice thing is I have grace to make mistakes.
Right.
Nobody actually knows their mistakes because we don't
gotta
know.
answer. Right.
So that's the nice thing, I guess.
Can you say the organization that you're working for? I don't think we've said it yet.
Yeah. So I'm the executive director of Chasing Hope House.
Okay.
We're an independent residential living facility for kids 16 to 18 transitioning out of foster care and at risk for homelessness. So we're doing exactly what it sounds like. We're taking kids that have homeless or have trouble being placed in foster care homes and moving them into our facility, teaching them independent living skills so they'll hopefully be successful adults.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I always love that, man. Like I say it all the time, like being from the city and seeing people I've grown up with doing things for the youth because we needed it.
Yeah.
You know, so to see it, you pay it forward now, like that has to make you feel good, even though you may have days you don't feel like doing it. But what's the rewarding feeling about knowing that you're helping the youth?
The kids in general. I think we met our first client last week. I've been in contact with her every day. And she's amazing. She's amazing. And one day I just picked her up after school and took her with me running around to do what I was going to do. And by the time I dropped her back off to the shelter, she's like, thank you, because now I'm inspired. Like, I know I can do things now, and I appreciate you. And I think for me, that's what I was waiting for. It was like, not the appreciate, I want to hear I can do this, because yes, you can, you know.
100%.
Any of us can do this. We might all have the same opportunities, but as long as we put ourselves in places for opportunities, which is sometimes hard to do, or around people that can help create opportunities for us, I think that we'll be a lot more successful. It's a lot more of a collaboration thing more than it is a power thing.
The importance of mentors, man. Like, we've all had a mentor or something that meant something to us, and the fact that you're playing that role for somebody else, that's something that young lady will never forget.
100%.
We definitely need more that are like genuine too.
Yeah.
Like it seems like, obviously.
I'm so passionate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Good.
Like,
So a lot of people start nonprofits for the profits, you know.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, I'm sure like there's many people out there that are kind of not doing it for necessarily the right reasons.
Yeah.
But I am seeing a lot more people like actually caring about that, and I think that's really important.
Absolutely. And I said before we started, I think that I did cause a little tension at first because I was saying we were the first to do what we're doing.
Right.
And while that is an accurate statement, I didn't want to take away from the people that do deal with behavioral health and those kind of things. Specifically, Chasing Hope House does not deal with mental health. I mean, behavioral health, we deal with mental health. We're a holistic approach. So we are a facility for those kids that normally don't fit into group homes and behavioral health facilities.
Right.
It's less traumatic for them. Also, our setup is it's a mentor approach. So the people that will be staffed in the housing, because it will be a 24-hour staffed facility, those people will act as mentors and not like authoritative figures. So they'll have like rules they have to follow and chores they have to do like normal teenagers, but we want them to be empowered as teenagers to go out and have fun with their friends responsibly, have jobs and make money and do those kind of things. But we just want to make sure they're doing them legally and, without a survival mindset.
I like that. Well, man, that's what we talk about in this episode. Like we talked about the organization on the first half. We have so many questions. It excites me to speak with you, and we've known each other for so long, man. So to see you doing this, it warms my heart and keeps me excited. You know what I'm saying? So before we get into the rest of the episode, where can they follow you? How can they reach out to you on social media, organization? How can they get in contact with you?
So first and foremost, follow Chasing Hope House on Facebook and LinkedIn. We have a website, www. I can't talk, guys. Too much matcha this morning. www.chasinghopehouse.com. And you can also follow my personal page, Chase Metal, on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok, but I can't even remember what my name is on TikTok. So
okay, Michael or Zach.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at zworthy68 or Facebook Zach Worthy.
All right, Chase, what about you?
They can find me at Chase_Alexander99 on Instagram.
All right. Follow the podcast, SWYM Podcast, on Instagram, youtube.com/JeanPDMC. Subscribe to us. Everything Jean P. the MC is nothing really complex about that, you know.
He means everything. Threads, everything. Farmers Mingle.
I'm not on no damn Farmers Mingle. Don't do that. Zach is crazy. No, but everything Jean P. the MC. We will have a separate YouTube for the Say What You Mean podcast very soon. So yeah, it won't be just all music and podcasts. It'll be a separate home for the podcast. So SWYM Podcast on Instagram. Chase, you gonna stick around with us for a minute?
yeah, I'll be here.
All right, man. Jean P. the MC, Miss Chase Metal, episode 174. Say what you mean. Peace.
Peace.
Say what you mean what you say.
Episode 174 of the Say What You Mean podcast. Jean P. the MC, Miss Chase Metal in the house. How you feeling today?
Good. How are you?
Good?
Good.
You like being on the podcast?
I do. You guys are very welcoming. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Our pleasure, yeah.
People always say, I want to start a podcast. Have you thought about doing a podcast?
No, but I'll come back.
Oh yeah, all our guests.
That's what we like to hear. Yeah,
that's what we love to hear. That's what we love to hear. But y'all know how we start off on the podcast. It's sponsor time. Got to pay some bills, man. So shout out to our first sponsor, obviously Tim Carmody here at the Hub Art Factory. Chase, what do you think of the space?
It is beautiful in here. If you've never been here, I highly suggest you make your way here this way, because that art thing that they have going on down there with the bugs and stuff is so cool.
Yeah, shout out to Bella. Yeah, they had an art show first Friday. They're always doing something creative here at the Hub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tim Carmody and all the artists here that make this space a great space.
Shout out.
Our next sponsor, George Financial Services. George Financial Services is a father and son team with 35 years combined experience. They are dedicated to helping everyday people. They have $30 million in assets under advisement and are growing. If you'd like to talk with them to learn more, search and Google George Financial Services Canton and book a complimentary call. So thank you to George Financial Services. Our next sponsor, RTP Sports, the realest sporting betting group in Ohio. If the game is on, we're betting. Welcome to RTP Sports, the #1 sports betting group chat in Ohio, where real players link up, drop heat, and run up the bag together. This ain't no guessing game. We do our homework, we strategize, and we take this betting thing serious. So if you're trying to bet smart and win big, you're in the right place. So reach out to RTP Will on Instagram and win some money. Chase, you sports bet? You can?
No. My husband is
Is he?
He's a heavy, I call him a parlayer. I don't even know what that is, but that's just what I call him because I hear him. That's what he says.
My parlay.
Yes, I call him a parlayer.
Me and him will get along, man. Yeah.
That's what's up. So thank you to our sponsors for helping us out with this podcast. So, Chase, let's start from the top. Where you from? Where you representing? What side of Canton you representing?
So from the top, my name's Chase Ross Metal, and I'm the executive director at Chasing Hope House. And I am here from right here in Canton, Ohio, all over each side. I grew up in all of the ghetto sides, I guess, lower income sides. Growing up younger, we grew up and we were in poverty. We were very stayed in shelters, the YWCA, food banks, and things like that. So very involved in the community from that point. And then also my family is heavily involved in the community. So they always made sure that I was pulled into things that they were involved in.
What was it like growing up for you? What was your childhood like?
My childhood was a lot of NAACP events, church, Catholic and Apostolic. A lot of friends. You know what? I think that growing up in Canton was a really unique time. I know you guys are a little younger. I'm 33 though, and I think I don't want to say it was safer, but I guess it was safer. And I say that because me and my friends were like able to ride the bus around town with no parents. We had no phones.
Right.
Remember? We had no phones.
No phones.
It was pay phones. So we would ride the bus from down here to Belton Village Mall with no phone or anything, call and check in on the pay phone. And I guess I didn't know that I was poor, honestly.
That's the best way to grow up.
And
Yeah, for sure.
My mom made sure that we definitely did not know. And if that meant like Christmas, she was purchasing our gifts from Goodwill and putting them in JCPenney boxes. Like we did not know that we were poor until we were a lot older, actually. So we had a good childhood. We were around playing with bikes and kids in the neighborhood and things like that. So I think I had a pretty decent childhood other than the trauma.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had great friends.
That's good. Always good to grow up with like good people around you. You know,
Yeah.
if you start off young, setting yourself up with the right people, you know, there's really nothing that
I
can
wouldn't
hold you
say that
back.
they were the right people, but back then they were right. They were
Yeah.
right. And then also too, we had a lot more houses. I grew up on Shorb. We lived in the Newton Zone. Every bad part of town you can think of, except for Holland Park. We lived there, and I can say that there was a lot more houses,
Way more.
which was nice because my friends lived in those houses. So we were able, like how you see on movies where you just run up, and me and my kids were watching Sandlot last night. And remember how he would just
man.
go up to the door and get his friend, like, come on, all right, Mom, I'll be back later. It was literally like that.
You find the bikes.
It was literally like
Yeah,
that.
That's
And
all you had to do was
Yeah,
find the
just
bike.
find the bikes.
yeah,
That's
and
where everybody's
now
kicking it.
You drive around down here, and it's like there's no houses, just vacant lots and stuff. So I feel like the kids around here definitely miss that piece of childhood.
We didn't have tablets.
We didn't have tablets.
I was gonna say,
No.
have you rolled through there recently?
Oh, yeah,
Because I
I'm
live
here
on the
every day.
other side of Fulton, and I actually grew up on that side too. And I remember like going across in that area when I was a kid and stuff. And yeah, it wasn't. It was different.
It was. I'm in the neighborhood leadership program with Canton for All People right now. Shout out to
Okay.
Canton for All People. Love
Shout out
y'all.
Canton for all people. Dope.
And yesterday what we did was we went around with Don, who's the executive director, and he was showing us their projects in the city. And we went over here to the Newton area, and it's so funny because I grew up in that area, you know, used to go in the candy store with his 5-cent candy and stuff. And now it's literally just dirt and construction. But it was funny because Don was giving us, you know, telling us everything that's going on. And I'm standing there and I'm like, Don, I see it. Like I see the block party happening right here. I see the kids, you know, and everything. Like I see the vision. And this is so nice because this is what I knew.
You talking about where the motel used to be at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like I said, I literally live right around the corner, so I wasn't sure what was going on there.
Yeah. And
But,
literally, I told Don, I was like 13, able to walk in there and get a hotel room. They didn't ask for ID.
They didn't ask.
They didn't ask.
They probably didn't ask for much at that motel,
And
for
Don's
real.
face was just like, oh my.
It wasn't good when I was.
Yeah.
I don't think I had a clue what was
Up
actually
until
going
they
on
tore
in
it
that
down.
time. Yeah, I did
No?
not know what was going on in there. Like I just knew they didn't do the greatest stuff.
And
in
it's
there.
probably a good thing that you did.
Yeah, it's
like,
probably
you know.
So, like, what inspired you to start chasing hope, and like, what moment made you commit to the mission?
It's funny because I've been getting this question a lot. So I'm approaching in August the first year I've been working on this. And I always start with the part, well, I just woke up one day with this idea. And it actually started before that. It started when I was having the dream. So the dream that I was having, there's 3 pieces to the dream. It was like a montage almost, right? So the first dream was I'm sitting in a kitchen and I have a baby in each arm. And one baby is like 7 months and the other baby's like a newborn. I knew they weren't my babies and I knew they weren't grandbabies. And I had a girl over here cooking and another girl at the table with me doing homework. And I assume I was probably holding their babies. So that was the first dream. The second dream was I'm at a graduation with a crowd of people, and we're just like making the most noise at the graduation
Don't tell this guy that. I'm
right? That's why I looked at him.
I would never hold someone for celebrating their child's accomplishments.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
So
At a movie, don't fuck with me.
So I'm at this graduation. We're causing a scene because somebody's graduating. And again, I knew that the feeling that I had in the dream, I knew it wasn't my kid. I knew that I was there for somebody else, but I knew we were celebrating somebody graduating.
Right.
The third part of the dream was I'm sitting behind cameras and all these things, and me and I guess my team were watching somebody sign a college scholarship or something. They got signed to go play ball or something at a college or something. This was a boy. He didn't have anybody by him, and he's signing his stuff. And then at the end of it, he's like motioning us to come up with him to take pictures and giving us hugs and stuff. So I assume that was probably one of my kids graduating college.
Right.
I mean, going to a college or something to play ball. So then I woke up and I'm like, this was weird. This was interesting because none of these were my kids. And then two, I feel like I need to create an opportunity to get kids to these places. So later on that day, I went and I was doing a lot of community work with my Aunt Ida Ross Freeman. Rest in peace, Aunt Ida. And she's been a respite parent for foster care my whole life. Well, she was in her 70s when she passed. And we're going around community, we're working. She's having these kids come up to her like, Aunt Ida, I'm hungry, Miss Ida. I don't have nowhere to stay, Miss Ida. Like, I don't have nowhere to go. These people want me at their house. I'm uncomfortable. I can't go to school. I can't focus. And I knew that this was an issue when I was in school because I was friends with everybody. And I mean, everybody. And a lot of my friends were actually foster kids. One of them specifically had a baby, and she lost the baby. The foster home took the baby and kicked her out, kept the baby, raised the baby. She never got the baby back, even though she did everything she was supposed to. She went to college, and she's a great lady. But she never got the baby back. So I always kept that in the back of my mind. And then working with my aunt, I'm seeing these kids still have the same issue. And I'm like, what is going on here? So then I'm like, we need to figure out a gap, or we need to figure out how to fill this gap. So I started doing research, and I realized there's no place in Ohio for kids like this, for kids 16 to 18, 15, 14, for them to go if they're facing homelessness. So then Chasing Hope House was the name that was in my dream. That was the name that was on the logo in the shirt. The logo was in my dream. The name was in my dream. So then I just like, okay, this is what we're doing. So I tell my aunt, I'm like, listen, Aunt Ida, I have this idea. And she's like, it's not going to work. They're not going to support you. They don't want to work with you. They don't want you to do these kind of things. And my Aunt Ida's experience in Canton specifically was a lot of adversity, a lot of battling she wasn't able to do a lot of the things, and maybe because of her delivery. She was very intense. And a black woman that started school the first time that schools became unsegregated. So she had a little bit of prejudice, mindset as well. Not her fault, because that was her experience. So when I brought this idea to her, she's like, nah, they're not going to do it. It's not going to work. They're not going to support you. I'm like, Aunt Ida, I'm doing this. Like, this is what I'm doing. I feel like this is what I need to do. Mind you, I came from insurance. So
it was like a whole different world.
It was a whole different ballgame. I had no idea what I was doing at all. So I called Job and Family, didn't get any answer. Was trying to figure out something. So what I did was I just went straight to the state. I called the state. I was like, hey, I have an idea. They were like, we have orientation for our group homes and our behavioral health facilities on this day. Come up. So I drove to Columbus by myself with really not any, just the plan in my mind, and talked to them about it. There were 47 people in that class. There was 2 from Northeast Ohio. There was 1 there for an independent living facility license, and that was me. Everybody else was there for a behavioral health facility and a foster home license, which to me was concerning, because why do we just want behavioral health facilities and group homes? So I told the state what my idea was, and they're like, this is awesome. Like, we don't have anything like this. It's needed. Here's what you need to do. This is a license you need. So the state was just on board immediately. So from there, I came back home, and I just hit the ground running. I'm like, okay, this is how it's going to work. This is what it's going to look like. These are how I'm going to set it up. I intentionally made it a nonprofit because I wanted people to know that the intention wasn't for us to be profitable. It's for the profit for us will be successful teenagers and young adults.
Did you always see yourself doing like this type of work, even when you were younger, before you had this dream? Like, did you always see yourself doing some type of like social impact and advocacy?
Kinda. Not necessarily. I guess it was just I was born into it.
Yeah.
My aunt brought the NAACP to Stark County. The NAACP Stark chapter, my Aunt Ida brought here. My family's always been involved heavily in activism. My 2 aunts were probation officers for the juvenile court, and they would take me to take my child to work day with them, and I got to go sit in the juvenile courts and stuff, so that was fun. I always knew I wanted a job where I got to look nice. I always knew that. But I did not, honestly, I've never had any direction of what career I wanted to do, which is why I have 52 different licenses because I was just always been all over the place. I can say though, this is the first thing I've actually ever felt passionate about. Like this is the first thing I've ever felt like, this is what I need to be doing. You're not going to tell me no, because if you tell me no, I'm going to find another way. I can say that. So, yeah.
That's the real test of knowing, like, when you want to do something is when you're passionate about it. You don't always think about the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Karen, I think that's why the people in the state said that's a dope idea, because some people just get into it for the money.
Yeah.
They know, okay, I can make this, having this many kids. And it's like, that's cool, but you still have to care for their well-being.
Absolutely.
Their mental health.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that leads into my next question. Like, what are some of the biggest challenges facing homeless and at-risk youth today?
So right now what is happening is there's literally no place to go for these teenagers. And a lot of them, what I'm finding is, okay, so let me backtrack. In my conversations with Job and Family Services, right now the game plan for them is to send them to behavioral health facilities or group homes, which is not an all-inclusive place for them. So a lot of times these kids' issue isn't because they have behavioral problems, it's because they don't simply have anywhere to go. The older the child, the harder to place, right? Usually when people become foster parents, they think they're getting small children and those things, and they're not realizing it's a 16 or 17-year-old kid that probably needs love, guidance, patience, and all those things. And a lot of time, it's just not there. Or they have other kids that might affect their kids, and it just doesn't work sometimes. So for me, that was what was concerning, was you're sending these kids to places that they don't belong, which is even more traumatizing. Yeah. Not only do they not have a family to go to, but they also are being placed in places with other children that are just not like them. And then what happens is once they turn 18 and they leave these facilities, they're not only in survival mode, but now they're exposed to trafficking and drugs, incarceration, and all these things because they only know how to operate from survival mode. They don't know anything outside of that. So I think that was the most scary thing for me that I'm realizing. And then also, too, working in the high school now, I'm realizing that there's even more kids that are couch surfing at aunties and uncles' house, friends' houses. And they're staying under the radar because they don't want to be in the system.
Right.
They don't want to, they're afraid they're going to send them somewhere else they don't want to be. So it's actually a larger issue than what even me and Job and Family realize.
So,
go ahead, Sam.
Oh, you're good. I was saying, so what are some of like the more major problems in the foster care system in general? Because you said it's hard to place like a 17-year-old, but just overall, what are some of the big issues facing the foster care system as a whole? Yeah,
so we have, and don't quote me, but I know for a fact we have over 17,000 kids in the foster care system. We only have 7,000 family licensed.
Is that in Stark County or in Ohio?
Ohio.
Okay.
Man. In Ohio. Wow. We have no independent living facilities for these kids in Ohio. And also, the number is growing for kids in foster care. It's not getting smaller, it's growing, because what's becoming even more of an issue is now you have these kids aging out of foster care that are having these kids. They can't take care of their kids because they're not equipped with their own life skills.
Exactly.
And then what happens? They go right back into the cycle. So it's like, it's not that getting more families licensed is not gonna address the issue that we're having. Anything that's going to address the issue is education.
Do you think more people are going to try to get educated and like kind of jump on board?
That's the hope. And that's the conversation me and the state's always having is hopefully other organizations will want to open independent living facilities. Don't do it in Stark County because I got it covered.
right. Don't you?
No, I'm just kidding. But I have, so Dayton, Akron, Cuyahoga, Youngstown, they have all been on my line. Like, when are you coming? I just had a call last night, North Carolina.
Ooh.
And they're like, what do you need to open a facility down here? And I'm like, well, first I need to open a facility here, and then we'll focus down there. But it's just interesting because there's other people like coming to me for mentorship, like point me in the right direction so I can do the same thing.
Yeah.
How do you stay motivated in all these roles that you have? Because it's like you do so much. Like, because one of the things I saw was that you do modeling as well.
Yeah.
So it's like you do all these different roles. Like, how do you stay motivated as a mother, as a model, as someone who's getting into the industry with the youth? What keeps you motivated?
A lot of prioritizing. My kids first and foremost. So any job I've ever had, it's been important to me to make sure that I'm present and there for them.
100%.
Because you can't recreate their memories, right? So them and their mental health is first and foremost. Secondly, though, I would have to say, I'm such a empath and a loving person. Even my leadership style, I just love to pour into other people. So that's what motivates me, is to help other people be successful or grow, or to give away my gems. I love that.
So how do you want to be remembered for the work you've done in Stark County?
I want to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my family definitely laid the path for me.
They did.
In the legacy. So I want to continue that. I want my organization to continue on for long after I'm here. And not just generational in my family. I have other things set for my family. I want Chasing Hope House to continue to be around for 100 years in Canton City, to continue to grow and develop other teenagers that might be at risk.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Why? I guess like my only one is like, why do you think nobody, like, why is that so overlooked?
That's a great question.
Yeah, good question.
Well, I
Because
guess
it's a problem.
it is. And for me, so you and I had a conversation off camera, and one thing that I've had in my mind with something that you said, which I won't repeat, out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's easier to just send these kids somewhere, put them in a facility, go visit them. Oh, how you doing? You ate today? Okay, good.
Right.
I clock out at 5 o'clock. My job's done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think it's easier to do that because you're just there to do your 9 to 5 rather than
Staff member
actually
this, staff member that.
go above and beyond, because you don't see a lot of people going above and beyond
No.
in general, period, at their jobs anymore.
Because the job is beyond 8 hours.
Exactly,
know,
exactly.
yeah.
Especially when you're in social work. I've
Yeah.
never understood
100%.
that. When you're in social work, the job does not end at 2:30, 5 o'clock, whenever you clock out. When you're in social work, for me, and this is probably why I was never a social worker, you have my personal phone number. And if something is wrong, like my clients, they have my number.
They call
She was just texting me a few minutes ago. If something is wrong, you need a ride to work. You know what I'm saying? How can I expect you to get any further if you can't even get back and forth to work?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a lot of what the disconnect is that people have it in their minds that I'm just here to do a job. But when you're doing these kind of things, it's more, you have to have a heart. You have to have a softened heart to be able to do these kind of things.
And that's like what I said about being like actually genuine.
Yeah.
And having a passion and caring.
For real.
Yeah. Because I don't want to just throw you in a facility and, hey, see you later, you know? Because then what happens is once you get out of that, once you turn 18 and you get out of that facility, where do I have to go? How do I get a job? I don't even have a high school diploma.
Now what?
That even seem long term. And
Yeah.
it seems like something that, okay, this is beyond you turning 18. Because for real, 18 is where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like when I graduated high school and they handed my diploma, it's like, hey, welcome to life.
Here's Bill.
Here's a bill. Right?
Yeah.
It gets right away, and that's very, very appreciative. You wanted to think ahead of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because 18 and going into adulthood is such a
Scary.
It's scary, you know, and if you don't have that guidance or mentors or someone they can call, you know, even me, I lost my parents at a teenage year. So like me having those mentors helped me. There's no telling what I'd be doing.
100%.
And those years shaped the rest of my life now. So like, what advice do you have for anyone who wants to get into making an impact in their community such as yourself?
Show up.
Plain and simple.
Show up.
For real.
Don't just do the talking on the social media and going off of what you see in the articles or you see someone else talk about. Show up, get active, educate yourself, educate other people.
Do what you mean and say what you mean.
And say what you mean. Yes.
Any other questions for?
So what do you think you need to really take this to the next level? What are some of the things you think you need to take this to the next level?
Well, definitely community. I am getting a lot of the support that I need, and that's because I have forced myself into spaces. But that has been me my whole life, is just forcing myself into spaces and making it work. So I think just the education on what we're doing, how we can better improve these kids, and less talk, more action.
100%.
Yeah.
I like that. So here's what I want to do, Chase. I want us to take a break and do a section called P's Positive Point, where you say a quote that means something to you. Chase will say a quote. And Zach, do you have?
We'll figure something out, bro.
He's got something.
We'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out. But yeah, episode 174 will be right back with Miss Chase Meadow. Say what you mean. Peace.
Peace.
Episode 174 of the Say What You Mean podcast. Jéan P, the MC, Miss Chase Meadow. Thank you for joining this show.
Hey.
I'm glad you're on the podcast, man. It's been a fun episode.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, I didn't get to ask you. I had a question before on the other half, and my question was, how do you manage running Chasing Hope House and managing communications for the NAACP?
Well, I'm logged into everything on this.
Handy dandy iPhone.
Yeah, so a lot of it's just like switching pages and stuff. But I am hiring for a marketing person for Chasing Hope House, if anybody out there, is looking for some volunteer hours. But with the NAACP, it's pretty easy because they give me the content. So a lot of time what I'm using for the content for the NAACP is just events that we've been involved in, or topics and whatnot. They have a national page that I can kind of ballpark off of.
Okay.
So that helps. That helps. So I'm not just generating content off the top of my mind like I have to do with Chasing Hope House.
Okay. So when you're not doing all of these things, like what do you do for fun? Like what's a chill day like for you? Because I will say you're one of those Facebook friends, when you post food, I'm just like, man, I gotta have some of that. Like you a beast in the kitchen. You like to cook.
Yep. That's what I do to distress, actually. If I'm in the kitchen and you see me baking bread or getting...
Oh, I believe it.
Getting sourdough starter ready.
So I'm always like, man, what does she make? I want to try that.
Yeah. We have chickens, so a lot of that is me de-stressing. A lot of my content on my personal page, period, is literally just me, what I do for hobbies and to get my mind off of stuff and clear and focus on something else. So anything that you see on my Facebook is really just me de-stressing and me sharing it with the world. It's not just me just doing stuff for content. It's literally just what I'm doing.
Next time you're on, if you want to bring us some banana bread or something, I'd be open to it.
We'd be down to try it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got you on a pizza.
Thank you. And you said you had the chickens. Say you got them yourself, so you ain't got to go to the grocery store.
No, I got my own eggs.
You got your own?
Yeah, I got my own.
Oh, you got it made then.
Oh, we get a dozen a day.
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
That's what
you
I'm talking
good.
about.
And they're better like that because my mom got them from someone she works with because I guess they have chickens or whatever, and she, brought them home. And I was like, "Oh, these are like better eggs."
They are.
Like,
They are. And our chicken's free range.
Yeah.
So they don't.
Oh
like,
yeah.
How many calls do you get about eggs? Like, do you get calls like, "Hey, can I get some eggs?"
all the time. Anytime I post it on my story, just know I've got 100 messages in my inbox for that.
What she's saying is she got them for the love, so you can get them. She got y'all. You need them eggs.
We're about to go re-up on chickens.
Re-up on chickens.
How many chickens do you have?
Okay, so before winter, we had 21.
Oh, okay. You got a nice little collection. Going.
Now we're down to 12.
Okay.
Between dogs in the winter, I'm not sure what happened. But usually we know we're going to lose some over the winter. So
Right.
we overbuy. And then when spring comes, we re-up again.
Yeah.
But we're going to add to the collection this time.
Re-upping on chickens sounds
We're
great.
re-upping.
That's
Oh,
a
We're
great
actually talking about
statement.
animals.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Yeah. They go like chickens. Which chickens? Animals. Actual animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Animals, guys. And we also have ducks.
Okay.
I have
Nice.
black ducks. And when we go and get more chickens, we're going to get some turkeys. And I'm trying to squeeze in a peacock in there if my husband will let me.
Oh, so you're really
That'd be cool to have a
outside.
peacock.
I have 5 acres, okay? Like, my neighbors are literally cows.
So you're really outside.
I'm really out. I be out there with my feet in the grass, okay? Not
Touch
not
grass,
boots on
some
the
of y'all.
ground, feet in the grass.
Man.
I love it.
So you like that?
I do. Now I'm not cleaning up no poop or anything like that, but yes, I do love it. And my chickens are friendly. So you walk outside and they're coming right up the hill to you to say hi.
See, some of y'all need to touch grass.
Yeah.
Touch grass.
More
Go
people
outside.
need to touch grass.
Yeah.
They
Get
really
off them
do.
tablets, man.
Go outside.
Get off ChatGPT.
Do something.
Literally.
That's my person, my artificial person.
Yeah, you need that. Nah, but y'all know what it is, man. We give it up on the podcast, man. Peace, positive point, where we end this show with a good point for you guys, man. So who wants to kick it off? Zach, you got something for us? Since you said every Dr. Seuss quote. What you got for us
Sad
today?
I missed the Dr. Seuss quotes.
Oh,
So-
so, like 100 of them.
I did a lot of them. I don't know if I've done this one. I found one that didn't seem familiar in my head. So, but who knows? Maybe I've done it.
I told you all I do is open up a book. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. That's one quote right there.
But what does that mean? What would that mean to me?
You got to figure it out.
What does
It's
that
your
mean to
point.
you?
What does one fish, two fish, red? I don't know. I can't get deep about that. So yeah, go ahead.
That'd be a quote for like a fisherman, to which I am not one.
What you got for us, Zach?
Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Dr. Seuss.
Oh,
Really?
Dr. Seuss said that?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Seuss got some bars, man.
Man.
good.
I didn't know you got that deep.
Yeah, that was really good.
What's that mean to you?
Live in the moment. Enjoy it. Because you just never know what that moment's going to mean to you, down the road.
Yeah,
You know,
I like that.
can a person who went to see a Minecraft movie say that was their moment because you got mad at them for yelling? I'm just saying. I don't want to play devil's advocate, but I just,
Dakota, turn the cameras off, bro.
See what I'm talking about? I'm just messing with you, man.
It's about to get loud.
Say that quote one more time.
Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory.
I like that. That's what's up.
That.
Chase, what you got for us, man?
My quote.
Oh wow, I thought you were
Yeah.
talking to.
Oh, I was looking. I'm sorry.
Oh, see,
Chase
can we
too.
just have a conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah, if y'all haven't noticed on this show, there's 2 Chases.
So
I'm
that
surrounded
didn't-
by both.
Let me just say that didn't happen the whole time, and I thought we did really good. I
Yeah.
just saw you look over here.
I was-
I did too, and
So
I just
like-
looked down.
I'm sorry,
okay.
Chase.
You've been looking. Yeah. Okay. So mine is aging is not lost youth, but a new stage of opportunity and strength. Pretty much what that means to me is that I think a lot of people think like aging is like bad, but like it's really not. I mean, it's
Easy to say when you're 25.
what I'm saying is
I am 35. You know what I'm saying? No, I
there's
get it,
always
though.
opportunities to improve, to do better, and to be a better version of you.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
you experience that through aging.
I do feel that person.
that.
I take that. I like that quote. Because like as you get older, you get wiser. Some people don't.
Yeah.
But so I like that quote, Chase. I like that. Now, Chase, the right Chase.
You see, because I thought it was ladies first, so
I know. Shame on me.
Why'd you look at me, man?
Shame on me.
Okay,
What's your
okay.
positive point?
Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness, and that's by Desmond Tutu.
What's that mean to you? Great quote.
So exactly what it says, that you have to be hopeful in any situation. I like the glass half full kind of approach, but I'm always the half full part. I'm always trying to find the good in the bad. There's always going to be something positive, even if it's just a little sliver. So that's what that quote means to me, is that there's always some type of light in the darkness.
And Desmond Tutu at that.
Yeah, at that, right?
That's a dope quote. I like that. My positive point is when you plant seeds of hope in your community, you don't just change lives, you grow legacies. I like that snap. I like that you said that when you said they have your phone number, that access, and I think that's why a lot of kids go through the bad part of not having that help when they turn grown because they don't have access to someone.
Right.
The fact that there's youth out there that know they can call Chase when they need help with something and they know you're going to help them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's planting a seed, because some people don't have that in their youth.
Yep.
Some people don't have that access, and it really determines the rest of their lives.
It does.
So like when you said that, I was like, man, that really meant something to me, because just think about the times we've all been through something and we just needed to call someone or have that access, and look at how their lives have turned. It's planting seeds.
Yeah.
That one phone call or that text message is planting a seed, because that person knows they can come to you. That person knows they can come to you or you guys or any of us. So the impact that we leave for people is planting a seed for them. So, and it's growing a legacy.
Absolutely.
So when you plant seeds of hope in your community, you don't just change lives, you grow legacies.
Yes, that was so good.
Thank you.
I like how all of our quotes went together.
Yeah.
We didn't plan that either.
No, we never do. The quotes are the quotes. Let it fly.
That's why I like to end the show like that. It's because we have like such great conversations, but at the end of the day, we just say what we mean. So if it's a quote that means something to us, that reflects our journey, such your quote, Chase's quote, Zach's quote, and mine, it's something that we love to end on a positive note with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, man. Any last shout outs? Chase, you got any shout outs before we get out of here?
Shouts out to you for coming on. We definitely appreciate that. And I definitely think what you're doing is a great thing.
And thank you for sharing with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Shouts out to my mentor. We talk about mentors. My guy, Jack Taylor.
Shout out to Jack. He was on the show.
For sure. And then, shouts out to you guys, the podcast, and the viewers. We ain't nothing without y'all.
We appreciate y'all. Zach, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to Hub for hosting every week.
Oh yeah,
shout out to you for showing up and showing out. You made our job easy with your interest and everything, so we always appreciate that. And man, let's just have a good Sunday.
Chase, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to you guys for inviting me in and being so welcoming. Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Of course.
Very respectful. And also shout out to the community, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you guys for your support. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Chase. Shout out to you for being a guest on the show. 174th episode. Yeah. 174.
That's a good number.
Thank you.
That's a good number.
We trying to get it up there, man. Shout out to Zach for being on the show. Jeremy couldn't be with us today. Shout out to Jeremy and shout out to Chase to my right.
That's me.
Shout out to
Chase too.
Yeah, Chase too. Yeah. Shout out to Dakota. All the listeners that have been watching. We're really building something here. In every episode, we're just getting better as a unit, as a podcast, me as a host. Man, I'm just trying to up the ante. So we really appreciate y'all for watching us. I hate when people say everyone has a podcast. It's like, yeah, but ours is dope.
This is not just a podcast.
Yeah.
Ours has substance.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
We bring on people that are like actively trying to make a difference and do the right thing, where everybody else just be
I think that's the best thing you could have said about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because it's like, I've been seeing that a lot this week. Everybody has a podcast. Everybody has a podcast.
But what are they talking about?
Exactly. And I think about what we talk about and where we come from, man.
Right.
A lot of people don't know about Chase and Jéan P. and Canton. They just kind of have like this, we're just football.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
But with me having this platform, I just want to show people there's more than just sports here. We have people who are trying to do things for our city because we care about where we come from, So I appreciate the people that give us something to talk about on our show. I appreciate the people that watch us, who support us, who spread the word. I love the fact that people see us out and they're like, oh, well, you guys have the podcast, So I'm really, really grateful, man. Really, really, really grateful for this. And do you have any other information or ways that people can support your organization?
Yeah, we have a fundraiser next month.
Okay.
It is a city official lip sync battle.
Ooh.
Okay.
It is
That'd be fun.
It's going to be at McKinley at Umstead Hall, May 24th, and it starts at 6. And the people who are performing in it are city officials from city organizations.
Really?
So we're pretty excited.
In the
about
lip
that.
sync battle?
It's a lip sync battle.
You got Bill in there?
I gotta come to see.
Ooh.
All right.
That might be the one.
We got strobe lights, fog machines. We got it all.
Okay.
So it's gonna be.
Are you participating?
You got to come and
I
see.
have a host.
Oh, you got
Right.
I got a host.
I have a host.
Yeah.
My team's gonna get up and say thank you, but probably not. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Anything we should look out for? Like any future plans other than this event that you have in May? Or should we just be on the lookout? What you got going
Just
on?
make sure you guys follow our social media
Yes.
page. Facebook mainly is what we're on. We are on LinkedIn too if you're on the business side. Chasing Hope House. Lots of stuff actually coming. We have a food program right now with Ohio State Nutrition that happens every Monday at the Goodwill campus. It starts at 5:00. I've opened that up to all of the community, 16 to 18. So come and learn how to cook some healthy meals on a budget. And then we also have some other things coming out in the next few months with human trafficking and programs for the kids for the summer.
Awesome.
All right. I think we're good to go, man. This is Jean P, the MC, episode 174. Miss Chase Meadow, thank you so much for being on the show. We'll see y'all the next time. Peace.
Peace.
Say what you mean what you say. I'm from the 330.